Hello and welcome to episode 71 of my informative playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker, and all I've done since the last episode is I've moved from the Sweet Teeth into the throne room. And what we're going to do now is we are going to see about doing some upgrades. And I'm checking my big long list. This is part 3, I suppose, of my artisans and kingdom management part of chapter
Adventures can wait.
2 chapter 2, end of chapter 2. Anyway, we don't have much going on here, so the only things to really do is, first of all, we're going to be leveling up the high priest here. That's Harem, but we won't start that yet because we want to set some of our other advisors doing some stuff. So first of all, we've got this project which provides a 10% reduction in cost of various constructions in our different towns, but it only costs 75, so if you spend more than 750 BP on buildings, which we will do eventually, the buildings do add up in cost. This will, pay for itself. If not, it won't, but we're going to stick Tristian in there. Better to have that early. And the next one is this, which is a much more exciting, I suppose, option here, which is Regent resolves problems with a +1 bonus. That is great, because that's a nice little bonus to our Regent, so that they are far less likely to fail and far more likely to get triumphs. So we're going to stick Octavia there, obviously, being the Regent, and we'll start that. And I do not believe there is anything else which we have to do. So what we'll do is we will grab Harem there and we'll start it going. Another 14 days gone. So Divine is now rank 2. That's very nice. Talden Mine is restored, so that's a bit more BP income. You can see we're now 37 per week, which is excellent. And Octavia has got that nice buff. And Tristian has finished the Love of the People as well. And you can see up here that our buffs are displayed up here. And we will get lots more as we go. Now let's have a little look at our events that have popped up. We can see that Testament of Loyalty, this is an opportunity. Which will just give some nice buffs some nice increased stats if we succeed. We've got a problem, devastating raids, so we're going to want to stick someone in here. Let's stick Ragonga in here because he's got an 85% chance of success there. And our military is lagging a little bit. There we go. And this is our Nazrielle related, artisan related quest. This is a very long and involved quest for Nazrielle, but there are strange things happening. Something strange is happening in the region. Residents are complaining of strange misfortunes. Someone must be casting spells to harm the barony's subjects. The reason and the culprit must be discovered. Okay. So we are going to stick Harem in there. And this can't fail. So, yep. Off we go. And that's going to take 7 days, so there's nothing we can do there. So we might as well stick Tristian in here and try and ace this one for a little bit of extra loyalty. And we can just check. The Sweet Teeth still haven't finished. So all we'll do is we'll go back into our throne room to make sure there is no pressing event here. And it does not look like there is. So we can go back into Shrike Hills management, that is. And what we want to do is rank someone else up. And preferably, we're going to rank up our Regent, because that will allow us to claim North Nile Marches, whereas ranking up our Treasurer doesn't allow us to claim a new region. So once we have Octavia, we'll be able to claim all the regions we can have visited by this point, which is excellent to have done by the end of chapter 2. That's quite a squish to get that to happen. And our stats are okay. Like, they could be a little bit higher if we'd spent more time doing stuff, but not much. Like we're sort of almost topping out here. So let's start this project. Just make sure there was nothing else that... yeah, no, off we go. Start the project. And we'll get this pop-up for accursed things. But since we assigned someone to it, it's all okay. We don't start getting debuffs, don't start getting stat penalties, because we assigned someone straight away. So community is rank 3. Harem succeeded. We knew he was going to, because this one couldn't be failed. Tristian, success. Bonus to loyalty. It could have been a triumph, but we'll deal with that. And we've still got Ragonga off on his little devastating raids. So what we've gained here is claim North Nile Marches. Now, we're not going to do that quite yet. If we look at our time, we need to go confront Nazrielle about the accursed things there. Turns out Nazrielle's creation spread corruption. Maybe we don't really need that blade she's been trying to pawn off on the barons. So, we've had no sweet teeth. We still can attend a meeting with Tristian. But, yeah, everything's doing quite well. So we're not going to claim yet, because there are a few other things to do. We will assign someone to this opportunity. Yeah, Jubilos can go for that, because it's only 7 days, so that's not going to take all that long. And, finally, we have a visitor in the castle. So, let's go see. And here's Willis. Hello, Willis. So, he is a plump young man. He doesn't look very plump. He looks kind of buff. Yeah. Anyway, Your Grace, I demand justice. Crime in the barony is on the rise. In open daylight, I was tricked, robbed, and if that weren't enough, humiliated. So this is the nub that he's claiming that a gang of local thugs tricked him into trusting them, and he sent them to the Isle on Candlemere. This is a lake to the southwest of where we are, just southwest of Tuskwater. And so he sent them off to reclaim his treasures, apparently, and they've made off with them, or they haven't reappeared. And he wants us to go find these scoundrels and recover his treasure, and he'll pay. So, first of all, who on earth are you? And he claims to be a scientist, an explorer, an adventurer, and a renowned expert in treasures and artifacts of virtually every era and culture. An archaeologist, perhaps. There we go. And yes, Jubilost is extremely rude. Yeah. And yeah, Willis obviously recognises Jubilost and is a bit flustered by that. So, yes. And it seems that Willis gave some lecture which was absurd in Jubilost's eyes. And yes, I see your manners haven't improved since last we met. Well, happily, I no longer consider you the beacon of knowledge you once were. You can joke however you like. I'm above such discourse. And yes, the only thing that puts you above me is your size, Willis. Even that isn't so impressive for a human. He's always got the cutting remarks, does Jubilost. And yes, anyway, this is, I think, obviously a quest here. So we want to know what's going on. Who tricked you? And basically he hired 3 individuals to retrieve some treasures from this Candlemere Island, and it seems that they have not returned, and he is assuming they've made off with the treasure. And yes, so apparently it was a paladin and a cleric and one other. But yeah, tell us more. So a ranger, a paladin of Irori, this is the enlightened god, self-perfection, and a cleric of Nethus. So yes, the all-seeing, two-faced god. And yeah. So this all sounds rather strange, since one doesn't normally hire paladins and clerics to go treasure hunting. So, yeah, sounds strange if you ask me. And, yeah. When I mentioned the old temple, they exchanged a glance, like I was talking about some hidden treasure. I was such a fool. I should have realized from the start they had their own agenda. Yes. And you don't seem like a local. Why would you keep these possessions of yours on the island in the middle of Candlemere Lake? And he gets a little bit flustered. So, see, these aren't exactly my possessions right now. It's just I learnt from the locals about the ruins of an ancient temple on the island. And everyone knows where there's a temple, there's always the hope of some treasure. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you believe some sacred relics from the temple of an unknown deity belong to you. By what right? And so the story starts to unravel. It's by right of finding. I dug up the stories, I heard the crew, I pointed out where to search, yes. There aren't many volunteers willing to visit a cursed island. So, yeah. Oops. I'm just talking gibberish. So now, even more of the story comes to light. This is apparently a cursed island, and that there are some sort of strange ghostly lights. And we've met strange ghostly lights in the past, and they tend to try and shoot lightning at you. But, yeah, let's see. What deity was the temple dedicated to? Who cares? I don't know. Nobody knows. Right. It's just extremely vague, as Jubilost highlights there. So, someone offers sacrifices there, and I suppose we're not talking about animal sacrifices. And, yeah. And anyway, what are these ghostly lights? They're brighter than fireflies in different colours. You can see them even from the shore. They're barely visible, but at night, people say they're the restless souls of those who met their deaths on the island. And this is a really difficult check, because it's a personal check. So, it's DC 20, and we've only got +2 to Knowledge Arcana, so it was very unlikely we were going to pass that. It's no worries. But yeah, one of the examples of a individual check rather than a group check. And yes, so this flash of light, did you see it or just hear it? And yeah, like half the island suddenly burst into flames. When the locals saw it, they fell to their knees and started to pray. They said that the old god had returned. Yeah. Anyway, guess that's all I need to know. So, he dumps a lot of information. Basically, Willis is a bit, how would you say, like, feckless. It's a feckless archaeologist, and he's hunting treasure, and, you know, every time he's tried to pull the wool over our eyes a bit, but then has just given the whole game away because he can't stop talking. A bit like me. Anyway, fine, we'll try and figure this out. And yes. If you manage to learn something new, please let me know. I'm staying at the tavern in the centre of town. That's where I'll wait for the good news. That's where we need to go afterwards. And look at this. It's Varisk. He's come to bring us an item. What have you got for us, Varisk? And he's got Extinguisher. This is really nice, because this item here is a +6 axe against the will-o-wisps, which just happen to be strange glowing lights. So yeah, anyway, we'll try that out, take it for a spin. So thanks, Varisk, and keep at it. He wants to make us a weapon worthy of Gorham's Herald. Cool. Anyway, there we go. And Shania. And she's urging us to visit her workshop yet again. And yeah, she gives us Persecutor, which is valuable, but we don't have any use for. But thanks, Shania. She'll tell us an extremely long story when we go see her. So we've got, where are we? Persecutor here, which is a monk weapon. It's finesse wielding. It does 1d6 electricity as well. And yes, you can cast Thundering Drums once a day, which is, yeah. But a +2 shock karma He's quite nice. But this extinguisher, this +2 great axe works as a +6 weapon against will-o-wisps, which is rather fancy. There. So +4 better than its actual bonus. So we are definitely taking that with us. I'm just going to stick that there as Valerie's accumulating various special weapons. But before we go off anywhere, let's just sell some stuff. We don't need the Shockfrost Heavy Mace, and we don't need Persecutor, which is worth 9,400, so we'll sell them. And that should put us almost under our limit. There we go. Just going to pick up some supplies before we set out, if I've got any. In here. There we go. So let's split. Take 6. There we go. Put that back there. There. Dump some various bits and pieces. Throw them in the stash so we're not overburdened too much. We will do some cooking later, but not yet. Because I keep putting it off. There. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to visit Nazrielle to clear this one. And we are also going to visit... Sorry, we are going to visit Tristian's quest. So we can drop off Jubilos there. We don't need him. And we can pick up Tristian. Here we go. And of course we'll be back in the capital anyway. So we can pick Jubilos back up for where we're going, because he's very handy when we visit Candlemere. But first we're travelling east. So Tristian's quest is here, Secret Sanctum, and that requires it to be the evening. And you can see it's probably going to be around about evening time when we get there. And also we're going to travel to Shambling Steppes to visit Nazrielle. And I will just double check what this was supposed to be, because I'm always losing track. So it's visitor there, relations +1. There we go. So let's go see Nazrielle and clear this quest at last. It's had so much toing and froing. Here we go. Enter Shambling Steppes. And we can talk to the Varisk here as well. So it's quite nice to combine just the different bits into one. So I believe he wanted us to talk to him. So yes. Greetings, patron. How can I serve you? Looking for a hatchet or a helmet? Anyway, what's this relic? And he wants to make obliteration. This hammer, which is cool. And he needs inubrix, which is a hard celestial metal. And we get a nice chunk of XP. And he indicates that we will find it in technically camp, which we have been to in the past, so that's we just got to return there to pick it up. Anyway, thank you, Varisk. That's, if we look here, get inubrix. But where's Nazrielle? Finally ticking this one off. And yes, the goods you've been selling are cursed. Would you like to explain yourself? And, oh goodness, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. It's simply impossible. My creations are impeccable. I'm a master, you know. Such a thing has never happened in my entire life. Nobody could. The other woman falls silent. Her lips move, but she doesn't make a sound. And, yes. When she recovers her voice, it now sounds strangely calm. It's Sartayne. It's him. He's been spoiling my work. No one else could do it. The little bastard tried to tarnish my name. There's nothing but cold hatred in Nazrielle's gaze. The tone of her voice is quiet and murderous. And, yes, she asks us to kill her apprentice. So, that's our quest. If we choose to resolve it in that manner. So, We need to return to the
I'll
capital,
share my
where he
path.
is. Let's head back in here. So yes, and Tristian's quest has this really, really long cutscene, which we're going to enjoy. But you can see our timings have worked out quite well here, because we need it to be the evening, and it is indeed. It is 11:17, which is quite nice. And there's a little bit of combat here, but it's kind of a sort of it's meant to be really easy, I believe, and so we don't have any. There isn't really much challenge in this bit of combat. So yes, as one might, expect, the average person who joins a cult isn't some sort of level 10 fighter. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going
Should
to.
last forever.
The end draws near.
What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna cast a couple of buffs.
What troubles you?
But there's not really all that much to do. With Tristian, we can use Archon's Aura because I've put points into spell focus evocation. You'd notice he's got all sorts of evocation spells, including a few flame strikes, which we'll make good use of. Let's come forward now. So, you've come here at the right time if you see these lit torches. If you don't see these lit torches, it's the wrong time, and you need to come back and waste some time and come back later. So let's have a little look. We're just in time. The sacrament has already begun. So yes, this is a very long cutscene. I'm just going to be quiet while it happens. So yes, Remus, who we persuaded to stop preaching, has restarted. And I believe this is supposed to be the individual we here who we met talking to Tristian. Where's he going? He's coming this way. So yes, Ruthgert, the first faithful who has been mentioned before by this individual when we were talking with Tristian. And yes, What do you say, Baroness? Are you prepared to sacrifice your useless life for these people who you claim to care about? And it's, they've been preaching about this cult of the cleansed, and it's really, as I think we've covered, it's a pretty horrific doctrine that the way to salvation, what the goddess wants, is for you to pray enough that a magical beast explodes out from inside you. Yes. Anyway, we can pick whatever we'd like, but I think I'm just gonna pick this chaotic good one. It's too late to offer peace and friendship, isn't it? It's rather tongue-in-cheek. And the answer seems to be yes. And it looks dangerous, but it is not. So if we just have a look here, we got lots and lots of stuff. And there, these are level 2, level 3, level 1, level 1, there's a level 6 there, so maybe not as easy as you might think, but it's more numbers than danger. So we're just gonna drop a flame strike right there because I wanted to demonstrate this. How long you got? Actually, we'll move you up. We'll move Valerie up, move Harem up, Lindsay there, Melly there, Alice over there. So let's see about demonstrating the power of the flame strike. 2 seconds. There it goes. Okay. So it's killed a whole host. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dead there. There's still a few left. So we can then drop a controlled fireball on the whole lot. There we go. Bring Valerie in. Control fireball is really good because it's fireball but can't hit your own team. Let's bring up Dirge of Doom. Yeah, and they should start running away. In fact, there we go. 1, 2. Here we go. You can actually do some attacking. 2 seconds. Everyone else really doesn't have to do very much. Running away. The only dangerous one here is Rithgut, really, and we can just see about hold personing in him. He'd probably pass, but oh no, he didn't. Yes, because even though he's a cleric, he's only level 5, so his will save isn't that good. So yeah, it's a trap, but it's one of those sort of you're trapped in here with me sort of encounters. So in fact that killed him there. So just let them escape. And Rithgut is scripted not to die. And we get casting these sort of whole person-y spells on people and then killing them when they're scripted for a conversation afterwards kind of messes with the I guess the realism, because you've paralyzed someone but magically they can get out of it. Yes. Anyway, are you all right, Tristian? And yes, no, I'm not all right. I'll never get used to how quickly a peaceful conversation can turn into a bloody battle. That was so cruel and pointless. Yeah, that and I believe that's what it's intended to show. Like one flame strike and one controlled fireball, and we killed. If you think about that in terms of what we actually did, one of our party dropped 2 spells which killed 10 people. It's like, what, really? Yeah, just mass killing, and that's kind of the shock there. Of course, it doesn't hit quite as hard in the CRPG than it might in a tabletop where, you know, if you kill a bunch of low-level people who are just sort of, you know, kind of afraid of what's going on and they've joined a cult, you feel a bit bad. Anyway, yeah, I'll gather myself now. And, yes, Valerie is so annoying. So annoying, Valerie. But, yes, it was a trap. And I say Valerie's annoying, but you know, I also like Valerie, and I think it's I suppose a testament to the writer that you can write a character that elicits a strong emotion, even if that emotion is annoyance. Anyway, yep. The first faithful's face changed the very instant he noticed you. I think he'd been preparing for our visit for a long time, and so this here. Right at the end, you probably didn't see, but he says something like, "You've betrayed the goddess, and we can bring that up with Tristian." And he brushes Alice off. But it's worth bearing in mind for later that there was some interaction between the First Faithful and Tristian. But I have no idea what's going on in his insane mind. Perhaps he meant that you refused to submit to his knife. And, yes. So, off we go. Yes, please let them be. Their leader is gone. Their friends are dead. They're just lost souls. So, yeah. We'll leave them. We'll do what you want, Tristian. Yeah. And so, we need to find the First Faithful. And, we need to ignore the peasants in the cult. There's no point in mass killing anymore. And we get a nice chaotic good option. You're right, Tristian. I hope tonight's terrorism enough to keep these people away from the kingdom forever. Yeah. Rather than, you know, we're going to kill everyone. But, yes. And Lindsay likes that too. Thank you. Their death would be a heavy burden on my heart. As soon as we reach the capital, I will seek out former cultists and learn where the First Faithful might have escaped. Find me in the city later, so we just need to remember to say hi to Tristian when we go in. And we're just going to collect everything, because I can sell it. Because we're just going back to the capital now. Just junk. I don't think there's anything particularly exciting. Gold powder, regular weapons. So yeah, this is essentially the end of the first part of Tristian's quest, and we get just sort of, we learn a little bit more about him, and we do this sort of horrific killing. I don't want to seem like I'm overstressing it, but you know, sometimes in these games it's easy to not quite sort of realize what's happening because you're so in the mood of you know, right, fight, loot, XP, level up, fight, loot, sell, XP, level up, that you kind of forget what some of this stuff actually represents, and that's why I tried to bring this one home, that there's something very horrible about what we just did, even if they did attack us first. So let's head into the main square, and we can chat to Tristian straight away, and we can track down Nazrielle as a wayward apprentice, which is the last thing I'm going to do. And this is actually quite a tough fight, and I've saved it till the very end so that I can embarrass myself by dying and having to reload, rather than by just doing it at the beginning and then reloading if it doesn't, restarting the recording if it doesn't go well. But yeah, let's do it at the end so that I can do it in one go. So 3 things: 1, we'll talk to Tristian; 2, we'll sell all that junk; and 3, we will track down Nazrielle's apprentice. Not necessarily in that order. So just check, make sure these sweet teeth aren't back. So, want to talk to Hassuf here? Hi, Hassuf. And we will offer all this rubbish. There. Not much gold, but every little helps. Leather armor +1 will sell. Yeah, there we go. And if we come over here, we can find Tristian. There he is. So, yes, unfortunately I have bad news. It didn't take him long to find it out, but yeah. So, he hasn't found very much. A couple of cultists. And, yes, the first faithful has vanished into thin air, and with him all meeting sacraments and talks to the goddess. It looks like the peculiar power of curses in the stolen lands is not, in fact, connected to these lunatics. Well, that's both good and bad, I suppose. And this is a really nice big chunk of experience. Anyway, managed to get their barkers off the streets, and yesterday fanatics have returned home to their families and honest work. Thank you for your help, Alice. Tristian wears a beaming smile. I will not leave you of my own accord until I repay you for your kindness. Thanks, Tristian. You are wet, but quite nice. Anyway. So, here. Sartayne's house. We have got a bit of a fight ahead of us. So, I'm going to... We don't have much in the way of self-buffs, but why don't we make ourselves small? This... If this rolls badly... Oops. It has the potential to be... not great. But if it rolls well...
That's mean.
Everything will be good. So I'm going to just see. We've got a potion of eagle splendor. We're going to quaff that. Although we might just be able to get away with swapping out the hat temporarily. We don't need skill checks, but there we go. So we are going to head inside the house. And this is the second fight we've had to do with Alice by herself, which she's not very set up for fighting. So we've only got a few things in the bank that we can use here. So let's just save up and say hello to Sartayne. And yes, he looks at you with astonishment. Something seems different. No longer does he appear dim-witted and servile. Instead, he seems self-confident and firm. I didn't expect to see you here. How can I help you? Yes, you've been spoiling Nazrielle's work, haven't you? And he sneers and throws his hands up playfully. You got me, I confess. Who figured it out? You or her? Anyway, that's not important right now. Why did I do it? Purely for the sake of revenge. Years ago, she invested a lot of effort in devastating my father, who was himself a well-known weaponsmith. He lost everything that was dear to him. His reputation, his work, his whole life's purpose. When I found out the rascal was here, I decided to seize the opportunity I arrived. I arrived here, got myself an apprentice position, and so on and so on and so on. And yes, he wormed his way into her good books and then set about destroying her reputation. And yes, since you're here, I have a better idea. Would you like to hire a new weaponsmith? I'm aware you have a deal with Nazrielle, but if you decide to break the deal and declare me the court's master blacksmith, then yeah. So we can strike a deal with him, which is this neutral evil option. We can basically tell him to go away, in which case I have a feeling this one messes everything up. So our only positive options are evil. We can either do a deal with him, or we can attack him. And my justification for Alice picking a chaotic evil option is her Fey bloodline. That she's been very fed up with this whole thing. Like, these cursed weapons have caused a lot of damage across her barony, including to her reputation, and she's found the source of it, and he should never have done this, and so we're going to attack. And yeah, there we go. Tiny stone animals appear in Sartayne's hands. He scatters them all around him. Ooh, so right. And we get 2 summoned leopards. Okay, they've got low initiative rolls. So, we can have a little look. They're level 5 animals, 48 HP. And Sartayne is a level 7 magus. It's dangerous. Right, so let's just move over here. And what we want to do is hit the whole lot with a confusion. And we've had a really nice initiative roll here. Okay, so that's... These 2 are confused. But not Sartayne. So, what we're going to attempt to do is overwhelming grief now. And we will also hit fleeting glance so that we get our 50% chance to be hit. So full like displacement effect, which is nice. Okay, he's griefed. Now we can hopefully just do the other 2. And hopefully he won't save. This damage here is actually the confusion. They've got a 25% chance of damaging themselves, so yeah. It's quite nice. We should be casting that, yeah? That hurt, but yeah. One more. Are we casting or are we not? There we go. Now, we're just going to see about frying them all. Which should hopefully work now that they're all paralyzed. There we go. There were some reflex saves there. But that was better. Let's get to this one. Cast mirror image. Okay, they're both dead. And he's casting shield. So we can try and grief him again. Because I really don't want him to start swinging at us. He saved. Right. We're going to see. Because once he starts attacking, it's going to hurt. There we go. Okay, held. Phew. Because that was shocking grasp coming in, which would just make us explode in sparks. There we go. We could have just, I suppose, fired off the burning arc, but I got a compulsion to use the enchantment spells, which are just so much fun. Anyway, it's nice when these little visual bug shows up, because we killed him as it was happening. Right. One key reason for killing him is we get some really nice items like this mithril chain shirt here. We can't identify them yet. We need to go talk to a seller, which is what I'm going to do as our last thing this round, this video, and I'll just show off what we've got. And then I will pause the video, and in the next video we will head off towards Candlemere. So yeah, I don't think there's any good resolution to this particular artisan quest. Because, I mean, you can do a deal with him, and it's functionally the same as having Nazrielle. Like, there's no penalty for swapping them round. He just becomes the new artisan. Okay. So, we gained Cloak of Resistance +2. It's very nice. Stick that there. Help raise your will saves, Valerie. Belt of Giant Strength +2. Very nice. Ring of Protection +1. But this is quite nice. This is Mithril Chain Shirt +1, which is a nice weapon. Nice armor if you wanted one for Lindsay. There. She doesn't need armor, but if you wanted it, this is nice and light. Only weighs 12.5 pounds. And a Keen Scimitar +1, and you know, that's a 15 to 20 crit range scimitar. It's a great Magus weapon. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video there. That's been about 45 minutes, so I will see you in the next video.